Rafi Alunan, malawak ang kanyang karanasan sa public service at sa pribadong sektor. Kinalaban niya ang katiwalian, kriminalidad at terorismo. Kasamang nagligtas ng demokrasya at kalayaan. Kampyon sa seguridad ng mga tao at kalikasan. Pinaninindigan niya ang kinabukasan ng ating kabataan. Rafi Alunan, kakampi ng bayan. Nakabalot ang ating watawat sa kanyang puso. Iboto si Rafi Alunan sa Senado.
Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. You just saw Rafi Alunan's YouTube advertisements. Rafi Alunan is not your usual trapo covered with money and expenditures. So we're trying to help him because I think his time has come. I mean, the Philippines is on the brink of a major change in politics, and in the region there are very alarming circumstances that require a person of his caliber to be part of our Senate. That's why we called him here to interview him anyway. And Jake and Rafi were just talking about the end of the Aquino murder.
Actually, that is the start of the people power. Yung
Yes.
pagpatay sa kay Ninoy, na sabi ko nga, hanggang sa ngayon, hindi natin alam kung sino ang mastermind. Dalawa ng Aquino ang naging Pangulo ng Pilipinas. You have the Cory at the time and now Noynoy. But then, walang closure eh. Walang hindi nasara yung...
When you talk about bookends, Rafi, you're talking about the Mendiola massacre for the Cory Aquino government and including Hacienda Luisita in the middle. Then now, the end of the Noynoy presidency, you have Kidapawan. So this is 30 years of what we can term as the hunger years. These 30 years are all about hunger, about the strife of the Filipinos after post-Marcos. It's all about that. I was watching a documentary last night on Rwanda, and apparently only 40% of their people live below the poverty line. They're an agricultural country in Africa. And funnily enough, only 40% live below the poverty line. They have a better record than us. Whereas we on our side, it's over 60% statistically that live below the poverty line.
Especially the farmers, no? And even sa amin na mga nasa construction industry, yung mga kasama namin sa Construction Worker Solidarity. And most of them are farmers, fishermen. Seasonal kasi ang ang trabaho sa bukid at saka sa dagat.
That's correct.
Now, magugutom sila, saan sila pupunta? Pupunta sa kalunsuran. And they'll just look for jobs. Saan sila pupunta? Construction. And they are paid a measly 150 to 200 pesos a day. So hanggang sa ngayon, ang pinag-uusapan natin, we were expecting so much doon sa EDSA Revolution 1 ng pagbabago. But now, it's still the same. The other week, Kidapawan, ano ang problema? Hunger. Wala silang bigas. Because of drought, no? Because of hindi maganda ang ani nila sa bukid.
Ako, Jake, naniniwala ako, Hans, a society gets a government it deserves. If you have a weak society, you will have an oppressive government. Okay. If you have a strong and just society, you will have good government. Okay. We're going through a very vicious cycle simply because we've lost sight of the fact that we need to change our ugali.
Yeah.
It's
Pagbabago.
That's the real pagbabago. Hindi yung turuan, ikaw muna magbago. Lahat tayo kailangan
Lahat
magbago.
sabay-sabay.
Sabay-sabay. And ang problema kasi mayabang Pilipino eh. Sorry na lang, sasabihin ko na lang, mayabang tayo masyado eh. Sila may kasalanan, hindi tayo. No? It's always somebody. Tingnan mo yung turuan ngayon. Tingnan mo turuan ngayon sa gobyerno.
No?
Pati sa NAIA. Wala na silang may turo. Ngayon, it's luck. Bad luck na lang daw.
Yung sa airport na nangyari na blackout.
Airport, But ang punto ko dyan is we will keep on talking about these problems endlessly if we do not change the way we are.
Yes.
Nag-uumpisa yan, no? Doon. Ngayon, do we have an opportunity to effect change in May? I think we have an opportunity, but it really depends on our voters, our people, our media that provides the right information, right? And also the instrumentalities of government to ensure honest, peaceful, and orderly elections. If the COMELEC falls or fails to ensure honest, peaceful, and orderly elections, if the media does not play fair to all the candidates and give them equal airtime, if they do not give enough voter education, and the voters really don't care about who they vote for and don't bother to research, then we will continue to have the same problems. The only way to break that cycle is by electing people who are matino and mahusay, who can therefore deliver good government. Kasi yung elected na matino at mahusay will also appoint people who are matino and mahusay.
Yeah.
You cannot expect them to do otherwise.
But Rafi, I think there seems to be a problem in the fact that we elect the president for 6 years, and the people behind him, i.e. the Congress and the Senate, the people who supposedly rubber stamp what his administration is all about, have a whole eternity to be there. So you've had FBR, you've had ERAP, you've had GMA, after Cory, what I mean, and then now you have Pinoy running the country. However, the same people who were there 30 years ago who took over from the Marcos administration are the same people. They're more powerful now. They are mega bucks and all that.
So you're talking about dynasties.
The dynasties.
You're talking about the political culture. And the reason why our political culture is like that is because we are still semi or neo-feudalistic.
Yes, that's right.
In character, no.
And coming from Negros, you should know that.
And we have not really transitioned or shifted from our adolescent stage to a mature society that knows how to handle freedom, democracy, and take care of our institutions. Earlier I said, punyeta, bayan o sarili? It's still sarili bago ang bayan.
Yes, it's still the mentality.
It's still sarili before the bayan. And if we don't change that, yun ang cultural and social transformation na sinasabi natin, yung pagbabago. If we do not put the national interest ahead of our self-interest, walang pagbabago mangyayari. So political dynasties will continue, our feudalistic culture will continue, our oligarchic culture will continue, the rich will get richer, the poor will get poorer, and we will all be in the kangkungan sooner or later.
Well, Rafi, you're running as a guest candidate of Digong Duterte. And I must say, I'm very impressed with the participation of the public, the ones who come to his rallies. I mean, the moment they find out he's coming, walang hakot, walang bayaran. They come in their tens of thousands. This is a phenomenon. This is like Trump in the United States. He captured the imagination, or he's probably part of the dreams already of the Filipino people, because he offers something else. He's different from the four others who are running.
Well, he is not like somebody who says, I created this city, when in fact it was the businessman, right? He was able to restore peace and order, and in the process open the doors to development.
Yes.
But that was painstaking. It took him a lot of time to get that thing done through sheer willpower.
And you worked with him.
And a sheer focus on the mission.
Yes.
When I was the ALG secretary, I was also the National Peace and Order Council chairman. And Digong Duterte was my regional Peace and Order Council chairman for Region 11. And we provided him all the support for him to restore order in Davao. There's this thing about extrajudicial killing that people say or accuse Digong of doing. If he was into extrajudicial killing, we would have arrested him already at the time, right? I can tell you that it didn't happen, and it's not happening that way. What we emphasized was give the criminals a fair warning. A fair warning. Do not resist arrest when we go out to arrest you. Otherwise, you'll rest in peace. And that's exactly what happened. Many decided to fight back, So they're now resting in peace.
Ang masasabi ko lang ngayon, nakikita ko yung inyong mga campaign sorties sa social media. And wala ito sa atin sa mainstream media.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Napakaraming tao.
Yes.
Fantastic. You have Tagbilaran, you have the other day
Dumaguete,
Dumaguete, you have
Cebu.
Cebu,
Tayabas,
Toledo, and even that one in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Na wala
wasn't
naman
there.
kayo doon.
Wala siya doon.
Pero napakaraming tao.
Yes.
Hindi lumabas ito lahat sa mainstream media. Ano sa tingin mo yung nagdadala sa tao o parang nagmamagnet sa tao na para makita yung campaign?
Yung una, yung track record niya. Meron siya mapakita ng track record. He doesn't even have to speak. People in Davao will speak for him. Okay, that's number one. Number two, diretsahan siya magsalita. Diretso.
Walang paligo.
Walang
paligoy-ligoy.
In our language, wala nang kuskus balungos.
Wala nang kuskus balungos.
Wala nang oras sa pambola, no? Diretsahan na. And that's what people like to hear. Kasi uhaw na sila for results. And Digong is a very good symbol of a public servant that delivers results. No? Kaya tahimik ang Davao, kaya't maunlad ang Davao. No? So that's what people are looking for. They're pinning their hopes on him.
Ano ang demographics sa tingin ninyo doon sa pumupunta sa rally?
Young to old, rich and poor. Nakikita ko lahat. Tapos Muslim, Christian, nandoon. The microcosm of Philippine society shows up in his rallies and they stay there for hours. Naghihintay. You know, for example, doon sa Panglao, that was our last stop after Tagbilaran. We were delayed by 3 hours. Pagdating namin sa Panglao, it was already 9:30. We should have been there at mga 6, 5:30, ganon. Naghintay. Hindi kumain ng tao. They waited for him. By the time we finished, it was 11:30. They still looked happy. They were very elated that they showed up and listened to him. Yan ang phenomenon.
Yan ang phenomenon.
Alam mo, may mga ginagawa tayong kaunting survey. Personal namin to dahil tayo nasa party list din naman. And alam mo, sa mga call centers, mga bata, itong karamihan, and most of them are educated. Alam mo, overwhelming.
Overwhelming si Digong, ha?
Digong,
Yeah.
Duterte.
Yeah.
And sila mismo nagpapagawa ng mga, bowlers.
Okay.
Even shirts.
So you have the youth, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tapos yung mga taxi drivers.
Yeah.
Yung mga tricycle drivers.
Yung mga naghahanap buhay.
Yung hanap buhay, yung sa mga hotel. Ay naku, sus, lahat ng mga hotel pinuntahan ko, mga tao doon for
So ano kaya ang dahilan sa tingin mo kung bakit sinasabi nga natin yung sa demographics kanina sinabi mo from the rich to the poor, the young, the old. Ano ang dahilan kaya?
You know, he
kung
comes
bakit?
across, Digong comes across as a person who is sincere and can be trusted. Very important yun in a leader. Pag ang perception sa iyo is that you're not sincere and you cannot be trusted, wala. People will not gravitate around you.
Funnily enough, in social media, there was a quote that said people who curse a lot are more sincere. It was somebody posted. This was years ago. And it's beginning to apply now.
Can I curse now?
But having talked about Digong, Rafi, we have 5 minutes in this segment. What will a Rafi Alunan senator bring to the table?
Well, I bring with me a track record of doing what I say I will do. No, I walk my talk, and I have my track record to show. Let's put it this way: I was trained when I was young. Never leave behind a country in worse shape than when you were born. And the LaSalle brothers, who taught me, said, you know, life is like a relay race. Every generation is part of that relay race. The older generation that you received the baton from, okay, should have given you a Philippines in much better shape than when they were born.
Yes.
And that's the same thing that you'll have to do when you hand over the baton to the runner ahead of you.
Yes.
My problem is that from the time I left government to today, I've seen a deterioration
Yes.
in the state of our governance and in the state of our nation.
Yes.
Poverty has not gone down.
It's increased.
Crime and corruption have gone up.
Yes.
We can't defend ourselves.
Okay,
Right?
definitely.
Drugs is killing our children, and it's a national security threat. Right?
We've lost our food security.
Our food security is a joke, right? Our energy security is something else. When I say it's something else, we should be fast reducing our dependence on oil and coal. But the trouble is, 80% of our new projects down the line for the next 20 years
Coal.
are on coal. It's ridiculous,
Yes.
you know? We're killing ourselves, and we are violating all the agreements on climate change that we've signed.
Yes.
It's ridiculous
Why do we do that?
because we have insincere leaders,
Okay.
all right? And we have people who say one thing but really do another. And it really boils down again to what Antonio Luna said. Punyeta, bayan o negosyo? Right?
Yes.
And here, negosyo and sarili are one and the same, no?
In fact, some of the biggest businessmen are right now are the politicians in real estate and you know.
Well, there's such a
retail.
word as government capture, right?
Politics is a business for them.
That's why there's such a term as government capture, because they're intertwined now, no? And unfortunately, the national interest always takes a backseat to self-interest. Compare ourselves to other countries where it's the reverse. They've gone way ahead of us, and we're still chugging along. Meantime, we're now 100 million Filipinos. And how many of the 100 million Filipinos are always short of cash? To me, the best measure of poverty are the people who are short of cash, who
Yes.
can't
Make ends meet. Make ends
yeah.
meet, yeah.
I don't care about those poverty statistics na $1 a day or $2 a day. Those who are perennially short of cash are the ones who are poor, okay? And it's growing. That number is growing. And we haven't learned how to take care of ourselves. We cannot take care of ourselves. We cannot call ourselves a nation.
Yes, that's right.
And this boils down to leadership.
Yes.
And I think that this is where people look at Digong. He has provided leadership in Davao. He has led by example. No? If people see that you say one thing but do another, they're not going to follow you. They'll call you plastic.
Yeah.
They'll call you
Si
plastic.
Digong ang
Si
nagbigay,
Digong is the real deal.
nagbigay ng pag-asa.
So he's giving people hope. A lot of people, even the well-to-do, finally see that here's a guy that can probably bring down the cost of doing business in this country, can discipline the local government units, can professionalize the national government, and finally get the business of improving the country underway.
So anyway, well, we're due for another break, Rafi. So we'll take a short break, and then we'll be back in a few seconds, and then we'll go on to Rafi again.
Yung mga kasama namin sa Construction Worker Solidarity. And most of them are farmers, fishermen. Seasonal kasi ang ang trabaho sa bukid at saka sa dagat.
That's correct.
Now, magugutom sila, saan sila pupunta? Pupunta sa kalunsuran. And they'll just look for jobs. Saan sila pupunta? Construction. And they are paid a measly 150 to 200 pesos a day. So hanggang sa ngayon, ang pinag-uusapan natin, we were expecting so much doon sa EDSA Revolution 1 ng pagbabago. But now, it's still the same. The other week, Kidapawan, ano ang problema? Hunger. Wala.
Rafi Alunan, malawak ang kanyang karanasan sa public service at sa pribadong sektor. Kinalaban niya ang katiwalian, kriminalidad at terorismo. Kasamang nagligtas ng demokrasya at kalayaan. Kampyon sa seguridad ng mga tao at kalikasan. Pinaninindigan niya ang kinabukasan ng ating kabataan. Rafi Alunan, kakampi ng bayan. Nakabalot ang ating watawat sa kanyang puso. Iboto si Rafi.
The people power, yung
Yes.
pagpatay sa kay Ninoy, na sabi ko nga, hanggang sa ngayon, hindi natin alam kung sino ang mastermind. Dalawa ng Aquino ang naging Pangulo ng Pilipinas. You have the Cory at the time and now Noynoy. But then, walang closure eh. Walang hindi nasara yung...
When you talk about bookends, Rafi, you're talking about the Mendiola massacre for the Cory Aquino government and including Hacienda Luisita in the middle. Then now,
You have
the end of the Noynoy presidency, you have Kidapawan.
Kidapawan.
So this is 30 years of what we can term as the hunger years. These 30 years were all about hunger, about the strife of the Filipinos after post-Marcos. It's all about that. I was watching a documentary last night on Rwanda, and apparently only 40% of their people live below the poverty line. They're an agricultural country in Africa. And funnily enough, only 40% live below the poverty line. They have a better record than us. Whereas we on our side, it's over 60% statistically that live below the poverty line.
Especially the farmers, no? And even sa amin na mga nasa construction industry.
Rafi Alunan sa Senado.
Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. We just saw Rafi Alunan's YouTube advertisements. Rafi Alunan is not your usual trapo covered with money and expenditures. So we're trying to help him because I think his time has come. I mean, the Philippines is on the brink of a major change in politics and in the region. There are very alarming circumstances that require a person of his caliber to be part of our Senate. That's why we called him here to interview him anyway. And Jake and Rafi were just talking about the end of the Aquino murder.
Actually, that is the start of